So, for any of you who've tried to change your behavior, maybe a diet, maybe a workout plan, maybe add something to improve your health, you've probably found it a little bit difficult. And one of the reasons is there's so much conflicting information. New science is coming out that's replacing the old science. So that's confusing because what your parents told you is not what the current researchers are telling everybody right now. So that's one factor. The other factor is a lot of these programs, they're like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 40 days, 6 months. They go on, and it's difficult to comply with something that's that long. That's my dog Lobi outside. She wants to come in and hang out, but she doesn't get to hang out because we're talking about owning one day at a time. And that's why I created Own the Day, Own Your Life, to settle the debate about what actually is good for the body. There's over 300 clinical references backing up all of the practices in here. And we're focusing on utilizing not only supplements, of course, but all of the natural elements that you can use to really upregulate your life. We're talking about air, water, cold, hot, exercise, sex, and of course, the different foods that you can eat, all of the different practices that you can do throughout the day, including just social companionship. There's a ton of research coming out that loneliness and the perception of loneliness is actually the number one killer and decreases longevity more than smoking cigarettes. Like, that's wild, but it makes sense. We're social creatures. We're designed to be together with each other. And the state that we're in now is promoting a greater sense of loneliness. So all of these practices are woven into a single day, and it's supposed to be a day that you can repeat every day if you want to. It includes going to work, and those work practices, it includes driving to work. Like, what do you do when you drive to work? So that was the premise for Own the Day, and I think it's one of the reasons why the book has been such a success, because it gives you everything you can do in a single day and still like drink a glass of wine or have a little marijuana if you're in a legal state, of course. I would not recommend doing something that wasn't allowed by the highly intelligent and caring advisors that just have our best interest at heart, always. So, Own the Day, Own Your Life. This was something I poured my blood, sweat, tears, time. I mean, the one thing about this book, when it was, that first week and it's up for becoming a New York Times bestseller, I actually wasn't really stressed about that because I knew that there was not a single moment that I could have tried harder. There was not a single piece of research I could have looked into more. There was not another time that I could have rewritten this book. I mean, I rewrote this book so many times, and as I was getting better as a writer, not only was I changing some of the structure, but I'd look back at like the first draft and I'd be like, oh my God, did a child write this? Like, what? I mean, the process of writing is something that really hones the craft. So I just encourage people, if you're interested in writing, to just write and actually go through the editing process, because the first draft is going to be kind of shit. It like always is. And then the second draft will get better. The third draft will get better. The fourth draft will get better. It's one of those things that you have to keep honing and refining, but just get it out there and go through the process. And hopefully, people will want to read it. But if not, it's going to hone your craft, and maybe they'll want to read the second book or the third book or the fourth book that you write. So I really encourage people, if you're interested in writing, to go down that path. It's not an easy thing, but that's what makes it so valuable. So I'm going to read you a section from Own the Day, Own Your Life. And I know that a lot of you read the book, and I think I have a feeling that some of you might have just read like the first part of the book, because everyone wants to talk about the morning mineral cocktail, which is the very first thing I talked about. And that's okay, because that's cool. It's really important to start your day the right way with hydration, light, and movement. But this is from the very end of the book. So I hope you guys enjoy this passage from Own the Day. The people of our world are hurting, not just the poor and the impoverished, all people we know and love. We have lost control of the operating system, and we are getting owned by life. But it doesn't have to be that way. There is a reason that in all great stories, the strongest motivating force for the hero is a threat not to his own life, but to the lives of the ones he loves. The girl, the child, the innocents. Their safety means more to him than his own well-being. We are programmed to love others, even to sacrifice ourselves for the good of the tribe. Use that powerful force to drive you toward success, but recognize that it will always start with you. You can never fully love and support others until you love and support yourself. The quest to heal a hurting world begins with the man in the mirror. MJ had the song lyrics right. He may have had a lot of other stuff wrong, but the song lyrics were right. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Twirl and crotch grab, which is kind of gross now. The reason is twofold. For one, to be of service, you have to be fit for service. A leaky cup can't effectively serve water. There's a reason they tell you to put on your own oxygen mask before assisting others in case of emergency on an airplane. You need to be strong and vital to be of any use to other people. The second reason is that by owning the day and taking control of your life, you can be the living proof to others of what is possible. You can lead by example. Why is it that when someone first does a new trick on a skateboard or a motocross bike that was previously believed to never be possible, then all of a sudden, a year later, 3 more people can do the same trick? It's because when you do it, other people believe they can do it too. All around you, right now, you have people looking at you. Some are in your family. Maybe you have kids. You certainly have friends or coworkers, or maybe even some strangers on social media. They are all looking for some sign that somebody knows what the hell is going on out there and that something better is possible. You can be that sign, that someone, that something better. You can be the one they point to. You aren't just owning the day for yourself, you are owning the day for everyone you know, for everyone you love. I believe in you. One day, if we cross paths, I will give you a big hug. I will shake your hand because I will be looking at a hero. Not at a perfect man or a woman, but a regular person, just like myself, doing your best. Without you, this book wouldn't exist. Without you, I wouldn't have had the strength to beat my own resistance. So it is I who owe you a debt of gratitude. You have helped me become the hero of my own story, as hopefully I have helped you. Go, hero. Go. We all need that motivation to do the things that are hard to do. Yeah, maybe that's like I talk about in the book, turning the nozzle of your shower cold and getting the benefits of cold immersion. Maybe it's doing the breath work. Like we all know that breathing, the conscious control of our breath, what's called pranayama, is beneficial for not only our stress levels, our mental state. All it takes is 6 deep breaths. I know that. How many times do I do that? I don't know, a couple times a day. And then if you do even more breaths, like the Wim Hof method, you're going to get even more benefit. How many times do I do that? I don't know. Not as much as I should. And I wrote the book about it. Because it's really not about what you know. It's about what you do. And to do what you need to do and what you know you should, you need the proper motivation. And the proper motivation is having everyone around you who's looking for that sign, looking for that proof, looking for that invitation to be better themselves. So when I have that, you can bet I'm going to do all of these things because it's not just for me. I'm working for everybody that I love. I'm working for everybody that I come in contact with. And that's the motivation that becomes really powerful in coercing me to do all of these practices that I'm well aware of. If you read the book, you're going to know what you should do and have the science to back it up. But to do it, to actually fucking do it, you're going to need a greater cause than just yourself. It's just how we're wired. It's just the nature of who we are. So if you start thinking about those ones you love and know that you're working on yourself, not just for you, but for them, and to give them the opportunity to do the same for them, and their friends to do the same for them, and their family to do the same for them, and the ones they love to do the same, then it creates this ripple effect where everybody sees what is possible here. And that's what really creates change. And that's why it starts with you. It has to start with you. But the reason you're going to be able to do it for you is because of everybody else. So when I feel like disenchanted with people, or maybe I've suffered a personal betrayal and I just like, fuck everybody. I'm not owning the day. I'm not doing the things because I don't care. But when I care, when I love people, when I love life, when I love the ones around me, then I'm so much more motivated to do all of these practices that I know are beneficial, because then I can talk to people about it and I can show them what I've done and I can bring them along on the journey with me. And that's the beautiful part. So I encourage you guys, if you haven't already, check out the book. It is a compendium of all of these practices. It's hard to find something so comprehensive that covers from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep. And it also hopefully gives you some motivation to actually do it. All you got to do is just do one day. Just do one day. Own one day. See how you feel. Feel good enough? Own the next day. Own the next day. Own the next day. Keep as much as you can in every day, and be willing to accept that maybe some days you won't own it at all. The day will own you. That's okay. That's just called life. But you can get back at any given point. I always say, if you're in the middle of a Twinkie or a chocolate cake and you throw that second half in the trash, that's a victory. Like, it's not black or white. It's not binary. Everything is modular. Everything has marginal, fractional benefits. So when you know what to do, then you'll do the best you can. And that's all that all of us can do. And that will grow and expand over time as you start to change your body's composition and start to change your mental framework. You'll start to be able to be the one that you can really trust to act on your behalf to the very best you can. So Own the Day, Own Your Life. I narrated on Audible if you haven't listened to that yet, or buy the book, or just enjoy this show and look forward to the next AMP books. Whatever you want to do, it's all good with me. I love you guys. Thank you so much.